Welcome to A Moment with Vivacious, a freedom ride where we the people gather to build ourselves, our family, our community, and our nation. For the sound of America for progress has reached critical mass. Understanding that we must put aside our differences to focus on the greater good. This is a place of collaboration to rebuild and restore our nation. Welcome to A Moment with Vivacious. Hello, and welcome to another week of Vivacious Moments with Vivacious. And I'm just excited, as y'all know, my whole personality is just exciting and excited. But I want us to understand that we're meeting here every Wednesday, have a purpose. We're building a foundation to come together, bring ourselves into unity with ourselves, to know ourselves, to love ourselves, and to be a power within ourselves, and to be a power within our community, to build villages again, and of course, to build the nation. That we will become a great democracy again starts individually with each and every one of us. And I thank y'all. I thank y'all. Not I thank you. I thank you for being here with us on Wednesday nights. Bring your friends, bring your family. Tell them to listen in so we can build ourselves. And in these first segments, we're building ourselves. And tonight, I have my own daughter. And we're going to talk about mother-daughter relationships and the power of mother-daughter relationships and the influence that mother-daughter relationships have in building the world and in the unity of the nation. So I introduce you tonight to Nola Reeds. Come on in, Nola. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good. Just
Tell us a
relaxing.
little bit about, I'm sorry.
I said just relaxing.
Oh, I know that's right, huh? You know, I had me a little bit of that hurricane that I got from
Oh,
Dwan's
oh
there.
Lord.
Everybody don't know what hurricanes are. We know what hurricanes are. But tell us a little bit about you, Nola, and why we call you Nola.
Um. Oh, I lied. So, that started. I called up, did some commentary one day. To some YouTuber that I love, Jamie. That's me. Shout out to her. And so I called in, and so they was like, "Oh, she from New Orleans. We like her accent. You have a channel, get a channel." And I ain't never got no channel, like wasn't even on my mind. And then when I would be in the comments, people would be like, "You have a channel, you have a channel," and somebody in the comments had said Nola Reed, so I just took it from there.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
boom, when I started my channel,
But you're an awesome
that's where I
young
got the
lady.
name from. So whoever that was, thank you, I appreciate it.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about Nola and I. We are two different people from two different worlds. But I tell you, at this time in our life, I thank God for my best friend. And even though I'm her best friend, I don't know if I'm her best friend. Let me say she's my best friend. But I'm still her mother. And I still have that place in her life as mother and the respect of mother. And I thank you for my three beautiful grandkids. And I know that I have that place as Nana. I'm still defining what I want Nana to be in their life, but I'm loved and respected, and I just want to thank you for that, Nola. So Nola, tell us a little bit.
I'm not gonna talk
Um,
about your grandkids.
I'm sorry. What did
So I'm
you
not gonna talk
say?
about you and your grandkids. Y'all ridiculous. I said
No,
I'm not
don't
gonna
be a
talk
hater.
about you and your grandkids. Y'all ridiculous.
Don't be a hater.
Y'all ridiculous.
Just don't be a hater, okay? They're probably loving on me right now and you hating, but that's okay. That's okay. So tell us a little
I ain't
bit,
saying nothing.
because I'm asking it to come from you because I'm your mother. We've come through you growing up to womanhood, and now you're a mother, raising your children. So tell us a little bit about what motherhood means to you, and that'll take us into our conversation for the night.
Um, I don't know. I never really thought about it like in the words of what do it mean to me. But it's the most important thing to me. To me, it's the best thing I've ever done. Um, in my life. Like there's a lot of things that I would say, oh, I wish I would have did this different, or I wish I would have did that different. But having my babies, there's nothing that I would do that would stop me from being their mother. Like they everything to me. So um it's like having my little best friends around all the time. And even when I don't say nothing, like they feel it. They feel me, and just they come hug me or laugh with me or tell a joke. They don't always come and say, Mama, what's wrong? But it's like whenever I need that uplifting, like they're there. And vice versa. And just working on their nerve because they came and worked on mine. Wait until they get that TikTok perfect and they ready to post it in for their final recording and getting in the back end. Doing the robots, like just creating memories, watching movies or whatever we doing, teaching them how to cook. Um, I have way more fun doing that. I enjoy being a mother way more than I enjoy going out and doing other things. So it's the most important thing to me. But I'm also preparing because I have 7 more years till I'm an empty nester. I'm also counting that down too.
Well, because it's just so
So
straight apart.
it'll just
You're
be a
not
different
still
phase in motherhood, but I'm still be a mother.
you you won't go through real empty nestering, because they could just go away, get more people, and come back. But because you have 3 kids spread out, I only had you. So when you left, it was like devastating to me. I was devastated for real. But they're all spread out. So by the time my grandson leave, my granddaughter will be, hanging in there, hanging in there. So let's start off first of all, Nola, with talking about, and it's okay. I want you to be totally honest, okay? Because mother-daughter relationships right now, um, in a lot of areas, uh, need to be restored. We have been through some things, and God has restored us in some areas. Like I said earlier, we are two different people. So, my world, what make my world roll is different from what make your world roll. So if we can go back a little bit, because we have mothers of all ages here. And that's why I chose you to speak first, um, because you've been there when I was a mother. Now you're a mother. You've been through being grown, had to leave. So for a teenage mom, a young adult mom, I think it was that 18 to 24 when we had the hardest time. But let's just talk about some things that maybe you think will help moms today with little children. Thinking of our relationship.
Um, so in terms of little children, you mean like what, 6, 7, 8,
However you feel,
4?
wherever you led to talk, however you feel.
Um, I feel like you have to create a space of openness with your kids, and it starts from them being young, like allowing them to express themselves and express how they feel. Um, and just express their emotions. If they're sad, happy, if somebody made them mad, it builds the the foundation as they get older. You start talking to them more and more about in-depth things, of course age appropriate, but just keeping that line of communication open. That way when they get older, of course there's some things you're not going to find out like right when it happened. You may find out a little bit later, but for the important things, for the big things, you have that openness with them, and don't sugarcoat life. Like at no age, tell them as much as they can handle for their age. But like I was always want to say, I don't have no money for that. If I don't have it, I don't have it. Like I don't sugarcoat it and say we're gonna get it later, or go ahead and buy it and then I can't do nothing else because I don't went bought this. Like, no, explain to your kids what life is, because we would never explain that. We just saw y'all do. Might have been like, okay, you going to work, but go pay this bill, go pay this bill, go pay this bill. But we didn't know sometimes y'all was robbing Peter to pay Paul. And then once you paid Paul, which was the credit card, you went charged it again to pay back Peter. And the cycle was continuing that. We didn't know that. We was just handling the responsibility of paying the bill. So when we couldn't, when we was like, I can't wait to get older, we didn't know that being older came with way more stress. It's sometimes I be like, Lord, I know you said you was gonna knock me into next week, but can you knock me a few years back, like the ones when I didn't have to pay bills? And because it's stressful, it's stressful. Jobs out here pay you what they think you worth, not what you just, what you truly deserve. But you can't just off, like you feel like, oh, when you get older, I don't have to listen to nobody. I'm gonna be able to do what I want, huh? Yeah, no, but still have to listen. Still have to listen to rules. You move in a neighborhood with an HOA, they're gonna tell you how you can have your grass, how you can have your bushes, what colors you can have your house. Meanwhile, it's a house that you paying for. It's a house that you paying for, that you paying taxes on, and you paying them people to tell you what to do as an adult. It's when you get a paycheck and FICA receives my money before I receive my money that I went to work for, that FICA ain't go to work for. Like, we didn't know all of that growing up. So then when we get paychecks and we looking at Medicare, Social Security, and federal income tax, what is this and why is it taking my money? Like, this what my check should have been, because we done calculated up in our head. And I think we grew up with fantasized idea of what being an adult was, because y'all made it look so easy. And I'm here to tell you, don't make it look easy. Don't make it look easy, because then when your child gets older, it's not that you didn't teach them when the bill come, you to go pay it and hit the money. Like, yeah, we know how to pay the bills, but we also not realizing that all of this is coming out of our money. And now we only got this much, but the bills are this much. And how you gotta make it stretch. Like we didn't know I didn't know anything about making it stretch, because whatever I wanted, I got it from wherever, not just you. Aunt spoiled me, grandmother definitely spoiled me, so you was getting it, so if we're going to talk about just being a village again, like the whole village have to, start doing it. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say I'm tired. It's okay to say leave me alone right now, I need a break. It's okay to say that. And I think a lot of my generation, we're at that point where, listen, this is my alone time, leave me alone, I need a break right now. And it's not hurting their feelings. It doesn't make me any less of a mother. And you have to grow to that stage, because at first it was like, Lord, I would feel bad for feeling that way. But it's okay as a mother, and you paying all the bills, and you going to work, and you got to deal with whatever's going on at work. And then you got to come home and deal with kids. And if you have multiple kids, there's multiple personalities, and you need a break, and you tired, and it's okay. And I think it's okay to share that, because when you share those moments, sometimes, not all the time, your kids won't bother you, or they'll do something to make you feel better, or y'all will just sit down and talk, or they'll let you just have your moment and relax. But I think because we saw it all the time, you guys didn't share with us when you was tired. Like, I just don't feel like it, I don't want to talk right now. I don't. Y'all just did it and did it and did it. And now when we grew up and we trying to be mothers, it's like, well, my mama did it. That's gonna make me weaker. That's gonna make me less than. When realizing y'all needed a break too, and y'all took y'all breaks. That's why we was by auntie house or whoever house, but we didn't know it was a break. We just figured we going over there to play with our cousins, and that would have been
But
something valuable to walk into life with, knowing like that you know, hey, my parents went through this too, you know, like they struggle too. You don't feel less than, or you don't feel like, dang, how they making it and I didn't make it, or I'm not supposed to feel like this, because the truth of the matter is y'all did. We just didn't know. And I think it's okay to share with your kids how you feeling, or if, listen, we have to pay bill this week so we can't do this. I think that's okay to share it within reason of your child's age level, age bracket, and their understanding of what it is, because
but
some
I
of
think
our
you and
kids are not always for level.
I think you and I had a different situation because first of all, I had your grandmother where I could drop you off at any time. So I think my rest periods I built in when you were at your grandmother's. I thank God for that lady. That lady taught me about what it was like to have a mother, what it was like to be a mother, and not only that, what it was like to be a grandmother. She'll always be so valued in my life. You know, I won't call her name. You know how she's a private lady, but God knows how much I appreciate you. And I want to stop and say, hey, Stephanie, and thank you for joining us tonight. So that was different. And then, you know, with your situation and the situation that life put you in your health, and we're not discussing your personal business, but my situation financially was different. And in that I had my sister, I didn't know how to mother you. I didn't know what to expect. I never thought I would have any kids. You know, my mom died, as everybody know that listens, when I was young, so I didn't want to have a child die and leave. And actually, I had promised Titi, your aunt, that she could have you. So we shared you because after I had you, I did not want to give you away. I did not want to give you up. So, and that's why still today, you are still both of our children. So I had Titi. Auntie Sigi loved babysitting, loved having you around because she liked allowing you to get dirty. So, and you know, I didn't like that. That's why our
Yes.
personality really split down
Yes.
the middle. So, so
Yes.
you wanted to go over there because
Oh
that
my
was your place
God.
to get dirties. So I had a whole village. So I never got exhausted. And I think that this generation is missing that village. You know, like there should be a place, you know, and I see you developing that, and it's good, but your kids are teenagers now. So, which is great. So, let's talk about how our personalities are different and how you wanted some things that maybe I just wasn't
Like, I don't want no
there.
more ruffled dresses.
Girl, those dresses were beautiful. You know how much those dresses cost? They were beautiful. Everybody wanted those. Their little girl to have your leftovers, two small dresses. Girl, what you talking about?
To everybody who got those dresses, I'm truly sorry. I'm truly sorry, because y'all didn't want them dresses either. Y'all mama wanted them dresses. No, I mean, but that was just one thing. Like, you were always very girly. Like, you're very girly. I'm not as girly as you. Like, I have my moments. Like, if I'm going somewhere formal, yeah, I want to look good. I'm gonna buy the ball gown. I'm gonna make sure it fit, the makeup, the jewelry, the hair, everything gonna be everything. Like, so that's one thing I definitely got when I'm ready to get dressed up. But you'll get dressed up every day. I'll throw on sweatpants and a t-shirt with no makeup. Like, that's a big difference with us, because as I got older, you used to put on some lipstick, put on your makeup. It is like, I don't want to put on makeup. I don't want to put on makeup. Like, I don't want to do that. So that was very different in our personalities, and used to stress me out, because I'm like, I don't want to do all of that. Like, I just want to wear some jeans. Everybody else wearing jeans to church. I'm in a full dress, heels and stockings in the summertime in New Orleans. Stockings was so extra. I don't think I've owned a pair of stockings in my adult life.
Well, well, I think that God deserved that. He deserves us to remember. But you know, like I really do. I believe that. I believe that He should always have our best, and He should be where we're focused going to church. But I think that's what, like again, that's where our personalities are different. I remember when you
Yeah,
say, "Mom, you." Mhm. I'm
I'm
sorry.
way more laid back. I said I'm way more laid back.
Yeah, and I remember when
Like
you said,
it don't take much for me to be okay. Like I don't I don't be needing all the extra. I'll be fine just chilling. Like, I wear simple jewelry. You wear big statement pieces. Like so we differ in that way.
"Yeah," and I still can't get you to wear them, but that's okay because I learned that in our differences, um, I think we were a lot older. It was a battle when you were coming up because I wanted you to be more like me and you wanted me to be more like you. But I want to again thank God for my sister, um, who was that hustler kind of girl, who was there for you on the hustle side. I'm not the hustle side. I'm the okay, what is it? And this is what we need, and I'm gonna supply it kind of girl. Um, but you needed something else, and I don't think that you ever got that from me. And for me, it's okay. But when you needed it, it didn't come from me, but it came from Titi. She's a hustle kind of girl. She's still into that, and she's still raising Matt, and she's still like that hustle kind of girl. And I'm just not that hustle kind of girl. But I feel grateful because God put people in your life to get that from what to get what you needed from someone else. But how do you feel about that?
I mean, at this point in time in my life, like
No, I, I,
I
I
really I
mean,
can't
I
go
want you
back.
to. No, I know you can't go back, but if you could have changed things, if you could change, how did you benefit or not benefit from? Because we're talking to moms now. We're talking to moms and daughters. We're talking to moms that have daughters that may be in the situation that we were in at that time. Let's talk about when you were being the queen. Can we talk about that?
Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Oh, so when I was being a queen, like everybody, it was a fundraiser. Everybody was raising money. I wanted to get out there, and go and ask people to take my ads out so, I could get it. Like whatever position I would have got, I would have been fine with it if I made the court because I worked for it. It was a competition. I wanted to compete. Like I wanted us to be able to do that and spend time, like take me around and go get my ads. Which I mean, TT ended up doing it. Me and TT are still close, as you know. I call her, hey, yeah, girl, hey, old girl, hey, young girl. Like that's just what it is. Like we just close like that. So I'm glad I had her to do it. But even after all my little hard work, when it came time, he was like, how much is it? It's last minute. Nobody else could come in and top it. And you just wrote a check like to put it on the top and boom, I'm the queen. You wanted me to be the queen. I wanted to work for it. And whatever position that I would have got, I would have, you know what I'm saying? I would have been happy with. I would have been happy with it because I earned it. Like I earned it. I got the people to support me. Even though I still had ads. I don't know where the ads come from that you had in that book. But there was probably people, and it was fine, but I wanted to work for it. So it was like, as a child, it was like I didn't want to do it this way. Like I wanted you to do it with me. Like this was not something that we did together. And when everybody else was talking, they had these stories of, my mama took me and we went knocking on the neighbors' doors, and it was like my mama wrote a check. I became the queen. Like, I didn't have anything to sit and talk. Like, when people saying that how them and their mama did or them and their daddy did, I didn't have that. And as a kid, you want that. You want to be able to go and say, look what me and my mama did this. Now, when we went to the Bahamas, I was able to tell that story. So it's not like I don't have moments where you didn't do. It was just the things and the way that related to me. It was like it wasn't necessarily had to be all fun stuff. But then I did the Girl Scouts, and I mean I was the bougiest Girl Scout there. You had me slippers and a robe, and I'm trying to walk in the woods if I slip. They like, go put some other shoes on. This is why you took so long to check in. Like I clearly did not belong in the woods. And there was one camping trip I went on, and I never went on another one. Okay, it was not for me. I am not a woods type of girl.
But
So
you
like in
did have your
situations like that, it was
girls.
like,
But you had
I
your
mean,
Girl
yeah,
Scout pants
I
on
mean,
and everything.
I had a girl, I had several outfits. I had a lot of stuff. I had way more stuff than I needed, but I was comfortable when I slept. They were sleeping on them cots all hard and stuff like that. So it wasn't never that I didn't have what I need in the sense of if I need this, I'm gonna have it. It was more or less the non-tangibles, um, which you didn't give, TT gave. Like when you say, "Oh, I've been working all these days, right?" And you'll be like,
Mhm.
"You're gonna stay home today. Let's go shopping," because you hadn't seen me because you had been working 2 weeks straight. Coming home, going to sleep, coming home. I had to be by my grandmother or by TT. So you're like, "Oh, we're gonna stay home shopping." For you, you thought it was fun for me because I got to shop. For me, it was fun because it was something that we did together. So I think that was the difference. I think for you, and now hearing as an adult, you say, I didn't know how to be a mother. You know, I didn't even want kids. I didn't want to do that. I think you felt like, and other things, I will say other things that you've expressed to me about uh, growing up and how people said things about you and your siblings. I think for you, being a good mother was partially interpreted as making sure I had everything I need, everything I wanted. I always had the best of everything. And for me, it wouldn't have mattered. Like I just wasn't into that. Like you would buy me $200-300 gowns and I'd be happier about the hand-me-downs. That Tava and them gave me because they were fashionable. They were from my teenage cousins. They were in style. They wasn't frilly dresses and stuff like that. But, it wasn't necessarily about the cost of anything or having the best of anything for me. For me, my best memories are times that I spent with people, not what I necessarily got. Yeah, I can say I went to the Bahamas and I enjoyed it, but I can also say I got to experience the cabaret at a young age. A lot of people didn't do it, which piqued my interest into plays and Broadway plays. So there's a lot of experiences that I've gained going on a cruise as a graduation gift. I know people still haven't been out of the country. Like I've been on several of them now. Love to travel that way. I get to see more destinations for my money, but that's just me. So I think, you may have interpreted like being a good mom as making sure I was always number one at everything and I always had the best. And I think some of that was, like I said, without discussing your past, right, and putting your business out there because of things that were said. You never want your child to go through life feeling a certain way, or especially if something was said to you as a kid. You don't want that as a mother. I can now understand it as a mother being on the flip side of it and not being a child. There's things that been said to me that I would never want said to my child. And so I make sure I don't get them in a position for people to say those type of things to them. But I am thankful that what you didn't have, you surrounded me with people who didn't have, who had it. And so I still was able to get it, which makes it a balance. And that's the part of having the circle, because we all can't be everything to everybody. You just can't, and that's children included.
And I still experience that with my grandkids. I love them dressed up. My grandson is suit clean from head to toe. You know, my granddaughters all dressed up. They just not having it. We literally fight to get dressed up to go to brunch. I wanted to take them to brunch at Antoine's. I couldn't get them to dress, so we just went to another restaurant. But I think that's important. I think that's important for me to hear as a mother. Um, and what we did as grown people, I had the job. I had the job where I can go make money and help all of us out. So while I was helping out the rest of the family financially, they kept you, and it kept us all afloat. And I thank God for that. I thank God for my sisters. More than ever, I thank God for your grandmother, because we did have a village, and a big part about a village to people that's listening and that needs that. The big part about a village, as I can hear my daughter say, she didn't miss out on anything in life, because we're not going to have everything that our child needs. We're not going to have everything that our child needs, but God will supply, and the village will have everything they need. It may not be in that one person, but and it wasn't definitely not in me, because my daughter and I, we from two different worlds, and yeah, y'all who know me well. I'm not gonna go outside in a cave without my hair on and my lipstick in. But I'm not down in her. I'm just saying, anybody who's like that. But the way, and I hope we're exposing the way um, the two separate personalities can come together. And right now, look, we went through a hard time, look, Chris. We went through a rough time. And I think that, and if you could tell a little bit, I'm gonna let you tell it, because I don't want to overtalk it. Okay. It was at the time when Chris knew that she was grown up, and she just wanted to be who she wanted to be, without without the pressure of what I wanted her to be and who I was, and me being her mom. There's a pressure. You have to honor your mom, you have to respect, and your life flow the way you want it to flow, because she's your mom. But when you make a team, I don't have to do that anymore. I want to be me. Can you talk a little bit about that, Chris? You mind?
Um,
Hello?
what I will say is, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you, I was
I mean,
putting
no.
Miss Stephanie's comment up.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't see it. Should I
it's
have
okay.
responded?
I've said my real name.
Um,
She just said yes, he will. He was responding, but when I see him come up, but I'm controlling it on one device and I'm streaming on another device, so I had to look down. That's what, if you see me looking down, I'm looking to see if there's any comments or anything. Um, so what I will say about it is this: yes, I turned 18, and I wanted to be me. And I had been wanting to be me for so long that I had went through depression as a teenager, but like I talked about it with TT. I never discussed it with you. But I was just ready. Like I wanted to be free. I wanted to be able to be me, mistakes or not. Like I didn't want to have to wake up and go to church and be there all day if I have to. Like if I wanna go to 8 o'clock, I wanna just go to 8 o'clock. I don't wanna go to 8 and 11. Like if I have to dance at both, then fine, I'll dance at both. But when it's over, like I wanna go, because then we don't never leave on time. Like church don't never be over and we leave. I'm ready to go. Like these girls here, these teenage girls here don't like me. They don't like me and my friend. They talk trash about us, and I'm really ready to bop one of them. But we in church, we in the house of the Lord, and the hands that I was gonna lay wasn't gonna be anointed. Like I remember being treated differently. Like there was an event for the pastor, and everybody was getting dressed in one room, and they singled us out, like y'all go get dressed over here, like we had the plague or something. So even though I loved being on the praise dance team, I loved Pastor Brown, I didn't necessarily love going there. I didn't love being around people who was fake and phony. Like I hear how they talk about you, but you still around there smiling and want to talk to these people for what? What you let's go. Let's go. What you talking to them? Let's go. You know they don't like you. You know the lies they saying. So why we gotta stand here and talk to these people? Like that was being real. It was very few that I like, and a few that I liked, they knew because I spoke to them. And the other ones, like if you wasn't looking, I didn't speak to them. But I was tired of living like I don't want to live there. I don't want to go through that. I just want to chill. I just want to relax. I don't want to have to get dressed up. If I want to skip a Sunday, I'm gonna skip a Sunday. If like I wanted to go through my life trial and error and experience my life and not have to be perfect. Like I felt like I had to be perfect all the time, and that was just too much. That was just too much. And mentally, did I break? Yes, I did. Like it was just too much. Like I just want to scream, let me be me. Like I'm not you. I can't be you. Like that's not who I am. Like yes, you put me in dresses and things like that. But when it came down to, like you said, you wanted everything perfect and you was working. But when I got to go by Auntie Siggy and play in the mud and play in the dirt, like you never wanted me dirty. You never wanted nothing to happen. If I got a little scratch somewhere, oh, you can't go back over there no more because you got a scratch. Like, but it was part of being a kid. But that's the people who knew, like, I just was carefree. I just joked. Like, that's all I wanted to do was just be on, be on some relaxed stuff. But it was always tense when I was around you because I couldn't be that. I had to be this perfect person, or at least that's how I felt, that I had to be this perfect person. And so yeah, I had to get away to be able to breathe. Like it felt like I could breathe, for lack of a better way of saying it. It just
That's a
I
good way of
needed
saying.
that space to breathe. I needed that space to become me. I needed that space to know what I can handle and what I can't handle. Had I would have not left and stayed, I don't feel I would be the person that I am today, because I never would have went through nothing to find out how strong I truly am, because you would have never let it happen. Problem would have been erased before anything, because even if I didn't say anything, you would have knew it, and you was gonna browbeat me, not literally beat me, but browbeat me over my head till I said what it was, and problem would have been solved. I would have never had to learn that, oh, okay, when this kind of problem come and you do this, you're gonna hit a brick wall. You gotta make 2 turns to the left, 1 turn to the right, and stop at the stop sign. Make sure you cross the street, yield for the pedestrians, and keep on moving. That's the clear path out. Like I would have never had that experience, and there's just some things you have to experience on your own. And there's some things, like as a mother, I can't fix. It hurt me that I can't fix it, but I can't fix it. And then there are times where there are things that I can't fix that I absolutely will not, because I don't want my kids to break. I don't want them to have that run in where they not gonna know how to handle a situation or how to move through life. And even now, when they get into situations, they're in high school, they get into a whole lot more situations than what I got into in high school. We would get into, but people get to talking about people and being betrayed. And my daughter Mackenzie, she's like, oh, I see how they moving, so I'm gonna move like this. I'm not begging behind you. I'm not running up behind you. And she's content with being her. It never changes. She never changes no matter who she's around. Um, and so I don't feel like she's going to run into that who am I, because she's been allowed to be herself. All of them are allowed to be themselves. And so I don't think they will run, of course you're going to run into things, because to an extent, there are still things that I am going to handle. I'm going to step in regardless, because that's what I'm supposed to do. But as far as getting out here and trying to figure out who you are, what you really like to wear, like fully, like they can express themselves. They ain't dressing like no hookers. But you know what I'm saying? Like some things is like, no, that's short. Girl, what? Oh no, we're not doing that. But they're able to express their personalities. And I think that was the biggest thing. Like, you wanted me to be a mini you. And in some ways I am, but I needed you to allow me to be me. But I think because you wanted me to be like you didn't see the other parts of me. And a lot of it is because you wasn't there to see those parts, because the village even act different. Like, it had to be a certain way. We was at parties with dresses on and stuff like that. And then as soon as you left to go to work, TT said, come on, take that SHIT off. And she put me on shorts and sandals, and I got to run around and play. So they knew that of me. But it was like, everybody was like, you know how Val is, Chris can't be doing all of that. So when you was there, everybody just went along with it. It's like, all right, you relax, go play with the children, go do this, go do that, So it wasn't like you said, you was working, you was helping everybody. So it wasn't neglecting the sense of you was just dropping me off over there. So I wouldn't say that, but it's like they got to see more of my personality, but they allowed it. And I think we have to, we have dreams for our kids, and we have visions and plans and goals for their lives, but ultimately it's their life. We can't live it for them, and we can't control it. Once it's out of, literally, by the time you're teenagers, you had better taught them to have some kind of sense and think for themselves and move through life. And yes, as life goes on, the problems will build, but whatever you do between those young ages is what they're gonna be. And if you didn't give them nothing, then they ain't gonna have it. It's gonna be too late by the time they're teenagers, because they are who they are to an extent.
Well, Chris, Nola, whoever, whoever think of their child as being separate from them, but it was my own issue, and my own issue was that once I had you, I know how, from a little baby, I knew how much you loved me, and I had the love, I guess, and I want to be real for mamas, okay? I had the love that I had been longing for since my mama died. Since the day my mom got sick, which was Thursday, and she died Monday. From that Thursday, my mom got sick on. My life went into survival mode, and I survived. I really don't feel, I didn't feel like I had an attachment to anything. I didn't own anything. I didn't know what real love was. I would even think if my siblings died, my heart felt like I wanna know that I would care, But once that moment that I held you in my arms, I knew that I had my forever love. And that moment in my heart and in my life, you became my perfect. And I want to say that because I want parents to understand that our children can be our perfect without being what we think is perfect. And I just was raising you like you was raised, like you was born in a castle, because I know I'm a queen, and so I was raising you to be a little queen. Or what my interpretation of the queen. You were my perfect. You were my love. You were my queen, and it was really, it was. I'm glad that I have you, Lord God. If I didn't have you, you're in my life, for real. But in what I'm trying to say is that I didn't know how to separate you from the love, the joy, the things that words could never say. You were that to me, and you were I put your life in a glass box to be untouched. And you're absolutely right. You would never, never have experienced a lot of things in life that you experienced if you had stayed with me. Because I wouldn't allow it to happen, just like I wouldn't allow it to happen right now. Because you're mine. My grandbabies, that's my grandbabies. And so as parents, as mothers, as grandmothers, I still have to learn because there's some things I never want to hear my grandkids say. And I was speaking to you today about something Mackenzie said once that, look, that can never happen. She said that can never happen. As long as I have breath in my body, I won't allow that to happen. And you're right, that's what mothers do. But I thank God for the strength that you have. And I thank God because you were the only one and you made it through. So it's three of them that you're mothering through of. I gotta let you, I gotta reel you out and let you be out there. But you on a fishing pole, you on a fishing wire, but you out there learning how to survive. And that's a good thing. I don't I'm gonna talk to my sister about what she did after I turned my back. I'm just teasing. But that's my thing. And that's why I hold you
It's too
so
late now.
I hold you so dear to me, and I don't want life to hurt you. I went through so much of life's pain. I never wanted you to experience any of it. And well, you took yourself away and you experienced it, and I'm glad. And don't let me know about what you're trying to let my grandkids go through, because I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna tell them to call me up, and I'm still in a fixing business.
I have
But
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Like whenever they say I have a package in the mail, I'm like, how did you get a package? You called your nana, didn't you? Your nana sent you something, didn't she? That's
but I
between
think
me and my nana.
it's
Especially
from
that grandson.
the longing. I love all three of my grandkids so very much, especially little Valley. But it's the things that I missed. I didn't only not have dad pay for our education now. I went to private school all my life, but there was so many things that I didn't have. Naturally, motherly, family. When you lose your mom, and for everybody who lost your mom, you know what I mean. That I don't want my grandkids to and my children and you to ever feel that way. And I thank God that the bond that we have as siblings. We weren't always together as children, but we have a bond as siblings. And tell me, how do you think your children is blessed? And then I want to go to you and your kids. Are we running out of time? I can't see the time. Um, yeah, we have 10 minutes.
We have
How do
10
you?
minutes.
Okay, so how does the bond between me and my siblings, the family unit that we have, how do you feel like that blessed you and your kids?
So
The good and the bad.
we're all still close. I mean, I don't really have anything bad to say about my aunties and my uncles. Like absolutely nothing. I mean, when I mostly I was with TT. So I was with TT and Wit, which is my little cousin. So it was like I had a little sister. And then Shawnee would come over, but then Tava and Nigel were babysitters. So it was like y'all were close, so we got to be close. Like even though I was your only kid, I wasn't never really lonely because it was always a cousin or a kid there. Um Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't, but it was always somebody there, you know. So, and then even now, like y'all still close, they still close to my kids. Like they call, they have their phone number, they send texts, you know, they talk. I still talk to my uncles. Like I have my own relationship with each one of my aunts, and my kids have their own relationship. Like Christmas just will not be Christmas if I don't steal a peppermint off of Auntie Siggy Christmas tree, only for somebody to tell, only for her to scream at me to put it back, even though she know I'm gonna still take some more.
Even though
Like,
she
can you
bought,
imagine the Christmas if
don't
we
tell
didn't
her I
do it?
told you. Don't tell her I told you she buying for you
She,
and Shawnee's.
but Christmas wouldn't be right if we didn't have that interaction. It's like that's our thing. You know what I'm saying? That's our
Mm-hmm.
thing. Me and TT have so many things. It's ridiculous. I have my thing with my Uncle Baby. I have my thing with my Uncle Bubba. Like it's all individual relationships, but it's all family. And then we all can get together and talk about those times. I have my own things with my cousins. Like I have different text messages with different cousins, like that we go through and we do. And so my kids have that. And even the one thing that I don't think my kids benefit, because we don't live in New Orleans, their age gap of cousins, like when they come, they talk. But outside of us being in New Orleans, with the exceptions of Angelica, they don't really talk like that. So I feel like they missing out on that bond like I had growing up with your cousins, getting in trouble with your cousins, calling the psychic with your cousins,
Who's
and
calling
having to
the
pay the
psychic
phone
girl? What
bill,
you doing?
running up the phone bill. Girl, we was like 12. It was me,
Y'all
Sean,
just
and Whitney.
yes.
And that's when Madam Cleo was on. And she was like,
Y'all
call me
just
now for your free reading.
see. I need to stop. I need to start reading bills and not just paying them.
She said, call me now for your free reading. And so we was calling her for our free reading, but we didn't know, that only the first minute, which they was leaving you ringing for the first minute, was free. But when we got through, she was like, who is this? What am I talking to? We was like, well, you psychic, you tell us. And she got mad and hung up on us. So we had to each pay TT like $12 a piece for our little call to the psychic. I like being by uncle, and we was playing Fear Factor, and we fried up all his shrimp and drank all his alcohol. He was some hot boy. He
Y'all
wasn't mad
just
about the liquor. He was mad about the shrimp. Because they was the big jumbo shrimp. But we were playing Fear Factor. But who uncle comes home and mad, like you drink up all their liquor and eat their whole 10-pound box of fruit, of jumbo shrimp, and they don't punish you, they don't whip you. He just go buy some more. Like we were spoiled. I can't say that we had that struggle story. I think my kids have a little more of a struggle story than I do, because they don't have that. Like it's us. It's us. So what I have it, what I make it. If I don't have it, I don't make. If I don't have the strength to do it, we're not doing it. There's no sending them here, um, where they can go by a auntie and do that. So I feel like they're missing out on that. But I make sure they're close. So one day, if I do have grandkids, they'll be close enough to where their kids can have it. So it's still that family togetherness and tradition. Passed down. I just pass it down in the way that I can pass it down. And then like I'm finally getting myself to the point where I'm open to meeting people and being okay with people, to go hang out and go in their house. Because for a while I just stayed home. I didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't want to do all of that. And I didn't trust my kids going to people's house. I still don't trust them going to people's house. Like I have to know you. I have to feel comfortable with you. I have to know what's going on, how you run your house, in order for my kids to be, to go over. But still, most of the time, it's like, y'all come over here. So, so I feel like they still get the values, but I wish um we would have been there so they can have that growing up with your cousins, and those cousin fights and makeups. And girl, I don't care if you was mad anyway. or getting into it and your big cousin saying, "Oh, who messing with you?" Or being the mouth that don't be knowing that the secret is the secret because nobody never told me that the secret was the secret, and then I say something and everybody looking like, and I'm like, oh, well, y'all didn't tell me it was a secret. So I hate that they miss those moments. I feel, they losing out on that. I do feel that, like that.
Well, I wanna thank you, Nola. I wanna thank you for being here with us on Vivacious Speaks today. Is there any last words you want to say?
I'm gonna just say, man, love your babies, hug your babies, allow your babies to be open with you, and create an environment where they feel comfortable talking to you, because these kids experience a lot more things than we experienced when we were younger. Um, and even if it's not them personally, they know kids that's going through a lot of things, and a lot of things that's traumatic. And these kids, um, because we are not as tough on them as our parents was on us, man, they soft. They soft and they can't handle it, and they don't be, a little bit of pressure bust they pipe. Um, so guide them in love, but create that environment for them to want to talk to you. Be open and allow them to be who they are.
Thank you for being with us on Moments with Vivacious. See you next week.